Hello beautiful people, it's Katharine again. I came back for another video, finally, right? Um, Today I was planning to talk a little bit about arts and education, especially since I'm getting into finals week. And it's a subject that's been in my mind for quite a long time. And I always have differing opinions on it, seems like. But everybody seems to understand the fact that arts are important in society. Well, the majority of people. And they need to be involved in everyone's lives in some way or another. It's a form of self-expression, and therefore I can't explain it. It's just a natural part of us being creative in some aspect. And that can be in anything, not just the traditional arts. But it's always interesting to me how different areas or different places handle or support the arts, I guess you could say. The town where I'm from originally, they have a good selection of artistic adventures, but the overall town seems to be less supportive of it than I would like to see. Whereas right now I'm very, very blessed to not only be in a university that has a fantastic music program and art program, but also that the entire city is incredibly supportive. Everyone you talk to in this city loves music, loves opera and dance, and they go, like, concerts and performances are always full because people actually support it here. And it's a big thing in this city, but not so back where I come from, which is understandable. It's a smaller town, but when you go to bigger cities, it tends to be a little more supported, but that also depends where you go. Certain music, certain arts are supported more in different areas. But when you take the arts into the education system, it becomes a little different for some reason. And I understand it. You have the struggle of creativity and self-expression, the freedom of that, and you have to juxtapose it against the rules of curriculums and testing in a public education system, or in any education system, really. And I see this from two different perspectives. I see it first from that perspective of a student being in a music program. And the music program that I'm in right now is amazing, is wonderful, and I love it. But it has its shortcomings, just like I think any arts program does, in the fact that when it comes down to supporting the freedom and self-expression of the student themselves, it can get a little limited, because there has to be some way in order for the teacher to test and know that the student really understands concept, which makes perfect sense. And there's requirements for what each student needs to know and needs to learn. So it's interesting to see it from a student's perspective, because it feels limiting at times, or it feels frustrating. And I've had many weeks where I love my piano. I love playing the piano. But I've resented sitting down and practicing because it's no longer for me, it's for a grade. And that gets to me, because that's not why I play piano. That's not why I enjoy music in the first place. But I can see the struggle from the perspective of an educator as well. I jumped ship on music education degree plan. I just couldn't deal with it that well. And part of it's just because of my instrument and various things. But it becomes a struggle from their point of view as well, and I get that, because most students, or most teachers that I know, they love the self-expression of their students, they love having the freedom of it, but they can be limited also by curriculum, because the school has to, they have to test in certain things, and it's required by state and laws, and that each student takes certain classes, even if they may not enjoy or agree or like them. And I think there's a balance for the educator or the teacher, that in order to support the students' creative freedom, it also makes sure that they learn basic concepts and foundational principles. Because I'm a pianist, I have a harder time with group things. Group art classes, it's because I've had so much one-on-one time. I've had private piano lessons since I was 4, and it creates a different atmosphere and different perspective on it. So becomes interesting sometimes. So that's my opinion on it. I think I can see both areas, and I'm not saying there's any perfect way to do this. I'm interested in the pedagogical aspect and the educator's aspect, but I don't really have an answer. I think it's something that each teacher and each student has to figure out for themselves, and the education system with the arts is different for everybody. So that's about it. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye!